you been here? 1, 2, 3, 4 at this event. How many people do not know Tom Tran?
Oh yeah.
See, all right. So yeah. I don't know you. So what I want to do is actually give you a little bit about this guy. I had come into one of these events about I'd say about 4 months ago, 3 months ago, and I actually sat in the same seat. And Tom actually was sitting there just giving away his heart, his mind, his soul. He was giving away everything. And I was sitting in the back of the audience going, why is this guy doing it? Why? He's giving away just his knowledge, his time, his freedom. And I thought to myself going, you know how many people go out there and as a real estate investor, they hold it, they kind of keep the secrets, they try to do this, they're all about themselves. Tom's not like this. Tom is a people-driven person. He wants to help, share, and give away all his knowledge to you guys. So the guy's done over 900 real estate transactions. Isn't that crazy? He is a wealth of knowledge, and on his Facebook, I sit there and I keep playing him over and over and over. I'm like, wow, he is. I've learned how to do MLS and farm markets, and he helped me do my first deal. I brought a wholesale deal to him on Wednesday. I found a Wednesday. I brought it to our team, and he helped me analyze it Thursday. One of the persons in the room was helped me to sell it on Friday, so it was a $50,000 transaction in 48 hours. And I couldn't have done it without that man sitting in the back of the room. So I want you to give you a round of applause for Mr. Tom
For making me look good.
If you're not walking on water, I can.
I'm not that smart, actually. But make me look smarter than I am. And thank you everyone for coming tonight. This is a very special night because it's Tuesday. This is the last day of the month. And we're going to celebrate with you all. And we're going to have special guest speakers. So thank you all for coming and coming on time. Everyone actually made it on time today. So no Asian time today, that's really good. But everyone showed up on time today, so it's perfect. I'm going to run through the slides very, very quick. I'm going to introduce a little bit about us and our company and what we're here for. And then also we're going to introduce the speakers in a little bit. So my name is Tom Tran. I've been doing real estate for about 10 years. I started in Sacramento. So everyone knows Sacramento market? Yeah. Is it a great market? We used to live in a wonderful market. The highest price in Sacramento was like $300,000. The lowest price that we sold a house for in Sacramento was like $50,000. I remember my commission one time was only $500, and I was excited. I was so excited because I got a commission. That's my first commission of the year. But we started in Sacramento. We moved down here. We sold a lot of bank loan properties for the bank. That's how we hit 900 homes. But flipping down here is much better. One flip is probably as much as our 900 homes. So that's why we started flipping the Bay Area. And we're going to show you how we flip currently today. We're going to show you everything, how we find deals, how we fund the deals, how we fix the deals. So feel free to ask anything you want. Ask any questions. Feel free to interrupt me. I won't get mad. So keep asking questions. We're going to run through the slides, and then we'll jump straight to the speakers. So that's a little bit about us. Where is Ken? Ken is probably at the bar. Okay, so Ken founded this group. Ken was the one that brought the idea to us that we should start sharing our knowledge. So why do we want to share our knowledge? That way we can create new friends, new partnerships. Everyone here is a partner to us. We don't see anyone as competition or anything. Everyone is a partner. We can learn from each other. We can borrow money from each other. And we can all drink together. So that's that. And that's me. And we have Tam Lee here. You want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure.
Tam Lee.
All right. My name is Tam Lee, and first of all, I want to thank everybody coming to our meetup. This meetup was created for all of us, for you, for your benefit, to learn the ins and outs of the flipping business. So like Tom said, feel free to ask questions, any questions, and we're here to help you. A little bit background about me. I was a software developer for 10 years, and last year I decided to join Tom to go into do real estate investment full time. As you know, Tom is a very experienced investor. He's good at connecting people together, like funding, acquisition, and disposition, like, and connect all contractors too. So, as we as a brand name of Stronger Moms, as a parent myself, this schedule working well for me, and we are on, I am on the step of creating wealth for my family and financially independent. So I want all of us, if you are interested in doing this, you can talk to us at the end, and you can join us if you want to. Okay.
Okay, so next slide. Okay, so why Stronger Moms Properties? Why Stronger Moms Properties? You're probably wondering why Tom was working with all these moms, right? That's not my mom, by the way. That's a mom. But the inspiration came from just seeing other successful females in real estate. If you look around the room, it's probably 50-50 now, right? 50% male, 50% female. That wasn't like that a while ago, maybe a couple years ago in Sacramento. It was actually all male dominant. And the good thing, one thing I remember in Sacramento was that there's these two moms in Sacramento that actually were already flipping houses back in the 90s. And they were doing it a long time. They have kids, they have their real estate degree, they have their needy husbands, but they were able to still flip houses on their busy schedule. So that was really inspiring for me. So if I wanted to learn, I wanted to learn from them. They were able to leverage their time, so that's what I want to do. I want to have kids and flip houses and have a flexible time. So that's why we're trying to teach that it's possible to balance your schedule with family and work and make money at the same time. So that's how we came up with the idea. And Tam is a very strong mom, so that's how we came up with the name Stronger Moms Properties. And let's go to the next slide. So the goal for the mastermind is basically to encourage investors just to start. So how many of you are new here? Who's new here? New to flipping, new. That's perfect. You actually made the effort to come and just to start. So this is that starting point where we're going to help you take to the next step. So who's experienced flipper here? So we have half. Perfect. So half the group experienced, half new. So we're all going to teach each other, right? Okay, we'll show the exact steps. We want to learn from each other. So next slide. So think of us, we're just your friends. We're not a teacher. We're not trying to lecture you. We're not going to charge you $50,000 unless you want to give us $50,000. We'll take it. But just think of this as a no sales pitch seminar. The only thing we ask is to donate tips at the end. $1 bill is fine. $20. We'll take it all. But do ask a lot of questions because that's how you learn. If you don't ask questions, you're not going to learn anything. So ask questions. Let's go next slide. That's our meetup. That's probably how you all found us, right? So if you please rate us, write a good review, write good things about Tom and his mom. And also our Facebook. Who has Facebook? Who doesn't? Who doesn't have Facebook? We'll make you sign up for an account just so you can like our page. So we only have like 200 likes. That's kind of sad. But if you help us, we can get 50 more tonight. So look up Stronger Mom Properties. We're going to get 1 million likes by the end of the year. And you're going to help us tonight. So please go on Stronger Mom Properties and then just like our page. Okay. We're going to run through our slides to kind of show you how we find our deals. But the most important part of today is actually our speakers, which I will introduce in a little bit. So I'm going to run through very, very fast. So try to keep up, try to ask questions. I'm going to run through quickly. Okay, you ready? How to get started in flipping. That's question for all the new flippers, right? How to get started. So everyone always talks about this 70% rule, 70% rule. So why the 70% rule? Who made that up? Why is it 70%? Why is it not 69? Why is it not 68? Why is it 70%? Can someone answer why is it 70% rule for the experienced guys?
That gives you enough spread. There you go. That gives enough spread. At the same time, it encounters, if something goes on with the market, if your budget is gonna go a little bit off, you know,
Yeah.
about 50%. It encounters all those things, so you still come out with pretty good, you know, good enough profit at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay, awesome, awesome. So out of that 30% spread, let's go next slide. Why 75%? So if you can sell for $1 million, you'll buy it for 700,000, right? 700,000. Are properties $1 million around here?
No.
Can you buy it for 700,000 around here? Depends, right? Depends. You can buy it depending on how you negotiate. So next slide. So let's say you buy it for 700,000, right? You want to save 10% for repairs, 10% for repairs, 10% for closing costs. You have commissions, you have escrow and all that. 10% for your profit. So that's why it's the 70% rule. So just think 10, 10, 10. 10% repairs, 10% closing costs, 10% profit. So you make a good 50 to 100,000. We also have another rule. This is for the smaller markets. Let's say in Oakland, if you can buy a house for 150K spread, that's a decent profit, right? So let's look at the formula. If we buy for 500, put in, let's say 50,000. Our closing cost is 50,000. How much is your profit? 50,000 net profit, right? Is that good? Bad? It's not bad for one flip, right? You just have to wear a bulletproof vest in Oakland, but besides that, it's not too bad. You're risking your life only for 50,000. Okay, so next slide. In South Bay, you want to be more greedy. Let's say greedy, because you want to make more money. You want to make at least 250,000 spread. That way you get a bigger profit. So with the 250,000 spread, kind of like a 70% rule, there's a 300,000 spread. There's enough cushion for 100,000 net. So let's say you fix the house, let's say in this case you buy a house for $1 million. ARV has to be 1.25, and then gross profit is 250. Where's the repairs? I think I forgot the repairs. Okay, this house has no repairs. Maybe it's a wholesale, but I forgot the repairs. Let's say repairs are 50,000, you make 75,000. So that's kind of like the numbers. You want to get really good with numbers. Just play around numbers over and over and over. Okay, next step. So how do we find our deals? That's the number one question here that everyone wants to know, right? How to find deals. We found a deal through emailing agents. That's one way to find deals. So how many agents are there in Santa Clara County?
20,000.
20,000? That many? I think there's like 5,000. Maybe the whole South Bay. Yeah, South Bay has 5,000. Yeah, I think the whole Bay Area has more, right?
Yeah.
So that's good. 22,000. Wow. So we're gonna hit all those agents. Imagine we email every single agent for off-market deals, and it doesn't cost us anything, right? It only costs us maybe $50 a month with MailChimp. So who wants a list of real estate agents to target? Okay. We can give you our list. We have Alameda County, Santa Clara County. That's how we got some of the deals. Not all of them will open up the email because they don't have time or they're lazy. But you'll get some response. You'll get some response going. At least get some leads going. Next way is wholesalers from meetup groups, right? Wholesaler from meetup groups. Who's a wholesaler here tonight? We have John Kim, Bernard. Do you want to introduce yourself? That way people can bother you later for deals. Real quick, everyone just real quick, just a quick introduction, 30, 60 seconds introduction.
I'm a general contractor and a designer. I also start to do wholesale deals, so I'm looking for deals and if there is investors looking for deals, please reach out.
Good deals or bad deals?
Good deal. He has one in Menlo.
Spread, right?
He has one in Menlo Park.
Menlo Park.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Who's next? Wholesaler?
Introduce myself, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead, good.
My name is Mike. I'm also a wholesaler. I actually belong to the same group as Riley here, with Renatus, and just starting off doing wholesaling this year. Yeah, just like Raul, I'm looking to for investors who are looking for properties in the Bay Area and Sacramento.
Awesome.
So I'm Bill Haskell. I am a wholesaler out of Morgan Hill, and looking, our specialty is really working with people and trying to help them we can't save their property, to help them transition out of that property as painlessly as possible. Thank you.
All right.
I'm Rima, and I just started, and I'm a wholesaler too, and this is just, I'm just a baby in this field, so I'm just learning.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Elena. I'm an investor myself, and I flip properties sometimes, but I also wholesale properties sometimes. So if you give me your business card, I can put you in my network for deals next time. Thanks.
Perfect. You want to share about your deal that you just did? Or keep that private.
I can share it.
Okay.
So I just had a deal that that was in East Palo Alto, and I bought it for 860,000, and I sold it within a week for 950 to a buy and hold investor.
Good job.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, how did you get that deal? Was that an off-market agents, door
So I
knocking?
got it from an agent because because I sold it for to a buy and hold investor, so I paid some commission to my agent, so that I still made her whole.
Yeah, nice. So the agent double-ended it, basically. And you triple-ended it. Wow, so half the agent.
Yeah, she listed the house
Yeah,
for the previous seller,
yeah.
and then she represented me on the buying side,
Yeah.
and then I paid her some commission on the selling side too.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
What's her name again? Do you
I'll tell you.
Very nice. Was her commission just about as much as your wholesale in a way?
She had a really bad commission.
Wow, perfect, perfect.
So, agents, please come work with me. I'll make sure that you get paid.
Very nice, very nice. Any more wholesalers?
I'm John Kim. My partner Julian Kim, she's my boss here.
Same last name?
Same last name. We're wholesalers and local investors from the Bay Area. I've been licensed for the last 12 years. We often have off-market deals, a lot of deals coming from the MLS as well. If you'd like wholesale deals to come to you, tell me who you are, pick up my business card, and send us a quick email about what you're looking for, which areas, price range, and things like that. And when those types of deals come about, we'll be sure to give you a call to contact you. Okay, so John and Julie.
John and Julie, awesome, awesome. Any more wholesalers?
Should I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
After you.
My name is Bernard DeCruzan. I'm a real estate wholesaler in the Bay Area. I just closed my 2 deals from second week of December to January second week. Property is in San Francisco area. You know that property?
Nice, I think I bought it.
That's a different one. You might buy the other one. And the other one was in from Berkeley.
Berkeley?
Yeah,
Wow.
that one I closed both of them.
Wow, can you tell us about the spread? So how much you lock it up for? How much you wholesale for?
I got it for 1.570.
1.5?
This is in San Francisco.
Yeah.
The appraise came in at 2.9.
2.9.
Wow. Yeah.
After repairs or before?
After repair.
Oh, okay.
After repair, but it needs at least 450.
450. So 1.7.
1.570.
Okay, let's round out 1.7, put in 400, you got 2.1, sell it for 2.9.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Wow.
Bernard, did you go door knocking for that one as well?
No, no. I had a guy who's actually, he said, oh, I have a deal, but I don't think it's a deal. I said, what do you mean? It's a fixer. I don't know if you're gonna be able to sell. Oh, I said, I like it. Okay, send me the address. He sent me the address. I look up the comps, and then I'll look around the area. I'm like, oh, let's go get this deal. He's like, no, I'll wait. Wait the following weekend.
Yeah.
I said, no, let's not wait. I'll meet you there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so we went to the property. And then that night we locked it up, and then I'll sell it.
Wow.
Is that Jim?
What area in
Is that-
San Francisco?
Inner Richmond. Yeah.
Was that Giangelo?
Huh?
Was that Giangelo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when
Yeah.
he was doing a wholesale training,
Yeah.
3-week wholesale training.
That's
and,
right. Yep.
Ended up finding the deals going out.
Yep. I can tell him just don't stop. Just it's
Just
out
keep
there.
looking.
Yeah.
So I helped them.
Nice.
Doorknob.
Go, yeah, it's a go-getter.
Like,
It's a go-getter.
Yeah.
So how did he get the deal? How did he
Doorknob.
find that lead?
He was calling, I think he was doing doorknobs.
Doorknob?
Yeah,
I
doorknobbing.
thought, really?
Oh, wait,
Cold
no.
calling and doorknob.
The house is abandoned, right? Or-
No, he actually, got it from another agent,
Ah,
yeah. But it was off-market though.
yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so real estate agent.
Real
A
estate
lot of
agent.
deals come from real estate agent.
Well, they were gonna put it on the market.
Yeah,
What happened is, the permit was expired.
yeah.
And so the owner actually, just reinstate the permit.
Yeah,
Soon as they reinstated, I jumped in.
I see, I see.
They were gonna put it on the market for, I think, 1.9 million.
1.9.
Yeah,
What street was it on?
12th Avenue.
Okay, that's not ours.
Yours? But I have two more, property coming up.
Yeah. Perfect.
Los Altos and San Francisco.
Let's just go. Can you let me know first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
We're gonna showcase it all tonight. So every deal that we have, we actually like to showcase this. Whoever wants to join us or partner with us, we're pretty open to that. So we don't mind. So, wholesaler?
Yeah, so I come across a lot of leads from direct to consumer. We wholesale a lot and we flip a few as well, so I'd
Nice.
love to connect with you guys
Yeah.
if you have deals and vice versa.
Awesome. Are you mailers
Which area?
or?
I do, to answer that question, and then my area is, we do San Francisco, Mid-Peninsula, and East Bay as well.
No South Bay?
And South Bay as well. So Santa Clara, San Mateo, San Francisco,
Oh, okay.
and Alameda County.
Alameda County. So the whole Bay Area.
Around the peninsula.
Very nice.
Hello everyone, I'm Tom Quirke. I'm a rehabber, but I also started getting into wholesaling. And just a couple of weeks ago, I met a lady who's a bird dog in Santa Cruz County. So she's been sending me some properties and I've been taking a look at them. Sharing one with Rick, that one probably isn't a big deal, but I've got a couple more up my sleeve, and she actually just sent me, anybody who's interested in multifamily in Santa Cruz County.
How many units?
You know, I haven't even looked at the email yet,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
she just sent it to me.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear back. I just, 6.8, and I sent it over to my investor for 6.9 million. I am hoping he gets it.
Maybe. Maybe.
And he's looking at it.
Yeah, very nice. So everyone here probably have, or the wholesalers probably have deals that they're working on. Jose?
Well, I do multiple stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a real estate broker, but investor, and I just put deals together most of the time.
Yeah.
We also flip properties, so,
Nice.
but we don't like to carry more than 4 at
Yeah.
one time. So we just look to see what we can do a lot of times. We wholesale,
Okay.
or sometimes we become partnerships with others. You know, I
Yeah.
haven't tried any of those partnerships stuff.
Okay.
But we do multiple stuff pretty much, but I
Yeah.
do wholesale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything today? You have anything good we can look at?
We can talk about, I'll give you a call tomorrow, yeah, but there's some good stuff.
Very nice. We got a deal tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a contract tonight. You think that's possible? Okay, so wholesalers, you can find wholesalers basically anywhere. Meetup groups, Craigslist. Just don't search under casual encounters. But you can find them anywhere. So Google Cash, we buy a house, cash, San Jose. We buy a house, San Francisco. Anywhere you want to buy a house, cash, that's where the wholesalers are, because they're just getting the leads. They're just getting the leads so they can pass it over. And a lot of times flippers run out of money or run out of resources. So they do always wholesale. Flippers are always wholesaling deals back and forth, back and forth. So Google wholesale real estate agent. Who's a real estate agent here? A lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wholesale and real estate agent. Nice. Any deals in off market that you're considering to sell or anything like that? Any leads? Any good? Yeah? No? Maybe?
Working on it.
Working on it. Okay. Awesome. Which area?
Milpitas.
Milpitas. Nice. Okay. How much do you think we can buy for?
Medium.
Huh? Yeah. What's the price? What do you think you'll list at?
Easily 950 to 1.
950. How many square feet?
1450.
1450. You think we can hit 1.2?
Easy.
Easy? Okay.
As is.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow. Okay, we'll get a card after. But that sounds interesting. So a buy for 950 is worth 1.2 as is. And they're happy with that.
1.2 on MLS.
On MLS.
Not,
Yeah.
off market.
And then you fix it up, maybe 1.3 then?
Possible.
Really? So about $1,000 per square feet? That high?
I would say
900 per square feet?
Nine.
Yeah, Milpitas. And then you can extend it too, huh? Okay.
Extend in what manner?
Extend the house? Extend the house?
Square footage first? No.
No?
You're done with the square footage first, based
Oh.
on the.
Because the lot's too
The
small.
lot is, I can't remember exactly, 55, 56.
Gotcha. So it's kind of maximum already.
Yeah, it's already there.
Unless you do about
cannot
permits.
expand. Yeah. No,
I'm just gonna put a
you
standard
could
there.
add the square footage, you cannot expand it.
Okay, okay.
No, it's not.
Very nice. We'd love to hear more about that. So feel free to contact anyone. It's okay to compete against us because we're gonna offer a higher. $1,000 more. Or here $1 more. It's okay. MLS expires. You can hit those. Craigslist. Ask other flippers. One interesting thing is hard money lenders always has deals too. So who's using hard money right now? Any good hard money lenders? Some names of companies they use?
Oh, I did hard money lending for 4.5 years, so I have a lot
Oh,
of
wow.
resources and private
What company?
contacts.
What company?
I worked for Dryden Capital and I WDB funding. We did
Yeah.
that nationwide and also Conventus.
Conventus?
Yeah,
Okay,
Conventus,
nice.
yeah.
I heard about them.
Yeah.
And then you always see deals fall out of escrow, right? Because the buyer can't perform for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So with those leads, where do you get them?
For those?
Yeah, the deals
I
that fall
actually
out.
don't have a lot of, I can basically, connect people to
Yeah.
get the financing done.
Yeah.
I just have resources and I have a bunch of friends that are private individuals.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so.
Nice. So you put deals together.
Mhm.
Yeah, perfect. So hard money
Yeah, if
lenders.
anybody has questions or needs some hard
Yeah.
money lending.
Are you still doing that? You still hard money?
I don't make money off of it, I refer all the time, I probably get like 3 calls
Yeah.
a week, so.
How come you don't do it?
Because I'm a realtor now.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. That's
Awesome.
when I met you, and it's private money.
That's right.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Any more hard money lenders that you guys work with? Want to mention? Any names? No? Everyone has cash? Okay. I'm assuming that. Okay, so that's how we find deals. I was going to tell you a story about that. So our hard money lender actually came to us, just like she was saying, the borrower needed gap funding. So it's a deal in San Francisco. We bought it for $950. We'll check it out later. $950. The borrower needed just 10% down. It's only $95,000, which I didn't have, so I borrowed money from someone else. So I borrowed the $95,000, got 50% of the equity for putting in the down payment. So is that something you guys can do too? Yep. Alright, and that's through the hard money lender. That wasn't a deal that I found or anything. And he's managing all the repairs. Monthly interest is a lot. Monthly interest is probably like on $950, that's $9,000 a month. $9,000 a month. So we'll carry that for 6 months. So let's say we put out $60,000. So $160,000 to make half of the profit. It's not too bad, right? Yeah. So private money lenders are also everywhere. Who here has done private money lending? Private money lending, Lisa, awesome. David, really? I can borrow your money? I didn't know that.
Right situation, right?
Any other private money lenders or interested in lending your money to make 12% or even equity? It depends, right? How you negotiate. Yeah, so Lisa actually is pretty smart. She can negotiate equity, right? But for us, it's 6%.
Just for you.
Thank you. So contact your private lenders and just put deals together. Don't be afraid to put deals together. Even if you don't have the money or the contractors, just try to put something together. Next slide. We're not going to do any of that. We'll just jump straight. So we talked about how we fund our deals with the hard money. We use Ironbridge out of Oregon. So it's only 10% down. Pivotal Capital is good too. Pivotal Capital is 15% down. 15% down. And Conventus is another good one. So out of those three, I'll probably plenty of money to fund all your deals. So Conventus, Pivotal Capital, and Ironbridge. And they'll fund the repairs too. So they're pretty good. Next one, let's skip the rehab. Any contractors here today? Contractors? 2, 3, 4. 4 contractors. So we can get 4 bids and get the lowest. Like that. So 4 contractors. You want to explain a little bit about your company and how you help flippers to make more money by bidding less?
Well, I've been in the high-end residential for 23 years. I got into commercial, done about 45 million in the last 5 years in commercial, building CVS stores and TI improvements. Just got sick and tired of making my boss a lot of money. Partnered with Tom, and I've got 1.6 and 2 rehabs going on right now outside of my current job. So hopefully, cross my fingers. If you can all cross your fingers, I'll fire my boss this year. But it's hard to freaking replace the $200,000 income. And
Maybe this month?
Yeah, well, maybe this month. But yeah, it's exciting. Very exciting. I know.
Contractor?
Yeah, I'm doing construction since 2002. I got my license 2011. Being a general contractor mainly so far for my customers, but now getting into the real estate investment. So basically I'm open for partnerships and stuff like that, so thank you.
Awesome. Ariel?
Opposite of Joe, I don't really deal with clients. I don't deal with homeowners. I haven't been doing this for many, many years. What I do GD partnerships.
Yeah.
I have the lowest cost of construction. You're actually paying for the cost of the construction only. So whatever I'm spending on the construction, that's what you're spending on the construction.
It's the cost of construction.
Exactly, it's cost of the
So
construction.
you
But I'm
work for
part of
free?
the equity. Exactly. I'm for free.
For how much equity?
Depends, anywhere between 10 to 90%.
10 to 90%?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Equity?
That's free.
That's a lot.
Keep in mind, because
Cheaper than
sometimes, just
hiring
like you're
contractor.
saying, well, I'll tell you the example, for example. If I'm
Okay.
coming in with $6 million from the purchase on the construction,
Yeah.
and you just coming in with opportunity,
Okay.
how much is that opportunity worth for you? If you
Oh, I
put
see.
$1 million into that.
So you put in all the money.
Exactly. So
Gotcha.
that can be a 90% deal for me.
Gotcha.
Now, for example, if the opposite way is that when you coming in with the whole money, you coming in with the whole deal,
Yeah.
you're paying for the construction and the cost,
Yeah.
and all I'm doing, let's see, just supervising you that you're doing the right job.
Right.
You know, the same $6 million job.
Yeah.
If I can make, $60,000 doing nothing,
Not bad.
that's priceless, right? So it always depends, but one thing that I always present to my partners, and most of the things I do right now, they're partnerships, is a cost-based construction.
Cost base. Okay. This for your guys. Okay, cool. Very nice. So,
I'm Chris, I'm new to investing, and I actually have a cultured marble company. We manufacture cultured marble, cultured onyx, and cultured granite, shower pans, shower walls, and countertops. We manufacture in Oakland, and for residential mostly, commercial every once in a while. You need like a multi-sink lab or something. Are you guys good? Are you guys good?
Yeah, are you guys good?
We're still around when everyone else is
bathrooms and kitchens, is that what?
Not kitchen, just bathroom.
Oh, just bathrooms. Okay. So marble and all that. Materials. Okay. Awesome. We have contractors, we have Carmel lenders, flippers, wholesalers. Anything else to mention? Are we missing anything? We have the money part, fixing, finding. I think that's good, huh? You just have to find the deal, fund the deal, and then fix the deal. That's it. And then your real estate agent does the rest. So it's not too bad. That's some of our contractors. If you need more information around here, South Bay, you want to contact them, get extra bids. It doesn't hurt to get extra opinions, right? Yeah, so give them a call. I'm not sure if they're licensed or not. Let's find out. That's your responsibility, not mine.
Don't need somebody else.
And that's one of our sponsors. They do staging. They do staging, interior designing. They can pick out all the colors. I'm terrible at picking colors. I'll just paint everything gray. I think that's the easiest. Gray floor, gray bathroom, gray everything. That's my style. Okay, I'm gonna skip through because we're gonna jump to our speakers. But how about we just pull up the bio? So we're gonna talk about our speakers. Our speakers are very young, 21, 22. Awesome. Okay, so where's their bio? I want to pull their bio. It's very impressive. I didn't understand their bio. 30 million in sales volume. So David did 30 million in acquisition, meaning you bought 30 million worth of properties, right?
I think sold 35.
Oh, you sold 35 million. Yeah. So that's a lot of properties. How many properties would that be?
25.
That's it? 20 properties for 35 million?
And what time period?
Maybe it's 30 or 40.
30, 40? Within the last
4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
So that's average 5 deals a year? Or
It started off slower, right? We did our first deal and we're scared. It took however long it took to
Yeah.
get to the end of it. And, you know, when it worked and we needed money, it was like, okay, let's try a few at a time. And then after that, it was like, okay. Yeah, actually, you know what the difference was? It was me and a guy who were working on it. We both had full-time jobs and like,
yeah.
you know, trying to keep track of contractors, you couldn't move projects along. And
Yeah.
then about 3 years ago, Leslie came on board, and then once her full focus was actually running the project start to finish, it was like, oh, okay, we can scale this.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Right.
Okay. So you made her do all the work.
That's
Nice. Actually, we should bring you guys up. I have a Word document.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's pull up the Word document real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. I copy your bio on LinkedIn.
Oh, you do.
I'm good.
That's David, that's Leslie. Please sit down, feel free to sit down, and we're gonna go over some questions. I wanna read your bio again. I thought it was impressive. And you have a mortgage company, right? Okay. So 30 million sales. You did a $8 million apartment complex.
That's the biggest one so far.
Wow, we're gonna ask you a question about that. Okay. What else? You started a fund holding $3 million in cash flow Airbnb.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So flipping apartments, loans, Airbnb. Do you sleep or do you just work all the time?
You said it. She does all the work.
That makes sense.
So
So
no,
she
I don't
doesn't sleep.
What time did you get up this morning?
1 a.m.
Good.
1 a.m. That's about right. That's about right. I think she needs a raise. Okay, Leslie is a product manager that does everything from start to finish. You hear that? Leslie does everything. David does nothing. David works out all the time. 5. I see you working out every morning.
Yeah.
So David works out every day, even if it's a holiday, right?
Most every day.
5 a.m. or 6 a.m. What time?
In that range, yeah.
Nice. So you got a 6-pack.
That's what I tell people.
So how many dollars would it take to get your shirt off?
You saw many deals like that. I don't think.
Tam said that.
I'm not gonna spend any money on you.
Yeah, what are we in Vegas?
That's right. Yes. Okay, great bio. Thank you guys. David's always traveling, so for him to be here tonight is actually very difficult. He's in another city every single day. He was just in San Diego. Where else were you?
San Diego, LA, back to San Diego.
Yeah.
Here.
And now here.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. All that within like one day,
Then
right?
San Diego tomorrow, and then San Francisco the next day.
Man.
Then Reno. We're
So
running.
you really don't work. You just travel. And
That stuff's for work then.
Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
follow the deals, right?
Yeah. Very nice. Let me pull up their. Let's pull up a couple things. So that's their bio. We're gonna pull up a product that they have that either they can wholesale or you can partner up. So that's one. We're gonna go over that. We're gonna go over 1,000 questions about you.
Good.
And we're gonna check out all your projects. So I'm gonna be nosy and see how much you made. Do you mind?
Don't mind at all.
Which one should we go over first? How about, let's save this for later. Questions would take forever. How about this real quick? Let's go over this one real quick. So this one is a product that you have in Carmel. So David has a product that he's interested in wholesaling. 2689 Carmel Walker Avenue. We can pull that up real quick. So you want to wholesale it for 1.2, is that correct? 1.2?
Yeah, so this particular deal right here, I think it represents a good average of what we do. I think our average acquisition price is about 1.3. Our average construction is probably 150 to 200, and then we sell for 1.6, 1.7.
Yeah.
That's pretty normal. We end up all said and done about a 10% margin. So it's funny, we just got this under contract. A week ago? 10 days ago?
10 days ago.
And I shipped it over to Tom to take a look at to see if he wanted to wholesale it. We're actually at a point now where we're kind of, I don't know, you can speak to that. We're kind of getting to bandwidth. What do we have going right now altogether?
2, 4,
So we have 7 projects. So we've got an apartment in Oakland, we've got an apartment in Sacramento, we've got an apartment in Reno, we've got 2 gigantic, $5 million plus projects in San Francisco. So when we saw this Carmel project, it's like, we could do it, it's a good project and it makes money, but it's like, everything's kind of going north, and to do 1 project south it's a lot to manage, so.
Yeah, so for wholesale zone, so you got in contract, is 1.2, including the wholesale fee, right?
We took 1.2, we got it under contract at 1.2, and then the agent listed it as pending to get clients. So she's been holding it open for the last 2 weekends.
Oh, interesting.
Smart lady.
Nice, okay. So 1.2, and then you want to mark it up a little bit, right?
Right.
So let's say 1.250.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, 1.250, 2 bed, 2 bath, 1,100, very small, right? So we have to either want to extend for this one, or
There's 2 ways to do that particular project. So as it sits, there's 2 comps, literally a street over for like 1,000 square feet, 2 twos. One sold for 1.6 and one sold for 1.65. So you could just buy it for 1.2 and change. You could put 50 grand into it just to clean it up and go try and get 1.6 or 1.7.
Yeah.
The house lends itself. It's a really good piece of property for knocking down a wall and extending out 500 feet. So the comps in that range are in somewhere around 2.1. So
2.1?
depending on what
And
you're.
it's only 3 blocks from the beach.
Really?
Really nice neighborhood.
Wow. Who wants to buy it so we can go to the beach? Oh yeah, look how close it is.
That's really close, yeah.
Okay, nice.
Fantastic neighborhood.
So I'm gonna search up the comps real quick. Not that I don't trust you, but I'm just gonna look up the comparables real quick.
Do it.
Can we trust these wholesalers?
Never.
Of course we can.
Well, when you look at the deal sheet later, I think out of all our projects, I think we've wholesaled like 3.
Yeah.
So most of the time, it's such a process to get a wholesale deal out there that like, if we have it tied up, it means we really are okay with buying it. So
Yeah.
the only time we wholesale is like convenience.
Yeah.
So like this particular one, I removed contingencies today, so it's happening.
Oh, you moved it today?
Yeah.
So you have to close.
Oh, it's closing, it's happening.
Okay, nice. So I'm gonna put, this is the MOS right here. We'll look at all the active pending contingent sold in the last 500 days. Just so we see the trend within the year. Single family. Quarter mile, we wanna keep it very close. There's actually a lot, right? 49? That's a lot of comparables. Let's check this out. And we're going to sort it by square feet. So we'll look at all the ones close to our square feet, right? 1,200 for 2 million. That's a great deal. So 1.5, 1.2.
The Valley View comp's a good comp. It's literally like 3 houses down.
Really?
Yeah, at the top.
Okay. I'll make this bigger for all the blind people back there. I'm one of them. I can't even see right here. Good. Okay, Valley View Avenue, 1.6. How did that sell for 1.6?
The other ones are terrible. I mean, that one's terrible too.
Wow, that
Wow.
Really
crap.
pretty. And the
What is
picture is
this?
not updated.
This is 1.6?
Yeah, so if we rehab that thing, I think we'll come out a little better than that.
Wow.
Maybe.
Nice view. Nice garage. Nice fireplace from 1990s or 1920s. Yeah, very old. 1994, and it still sold for 1.6.
I think it has 100 925.
Yeah. So can we hit 1.5 to 1.6? You think we can hit 1.5 to 1.6 for this one?
Yeah, of course.
Seeing these comparables? So the lowest comparable, if you look at the price range in the area, the lowest price is 1.5 conservatively, right? And now it's hitting up to 2 million. So that's a good sweet spot, 1.5, 1.6. So is that a good enough spread? 1.2 to 1.6? Question?
What is the estimated rehab that you saw?
Depends on if you're gonna add the square footage or not, right?
No square footage.
I think you do it for 70.
70?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like you're not changing walls, you're just flooring.
Get your 2 baths.
I mean, looking at the comps, you
Yeah.
could just reface the doors in the kitchen, like, really easy.
Yeah. Contractors, can we do it for 70?
Yeah, there's no
70?
question about it.
60. I know you can do it. You got the marbles already. Okay, so that's pretty good. If we can buy this 1.25, put in 70, you're at 1.32, and you still sell it for 1.5, right? What's closing costs? Let's say What's closing costs? 100 grand? 100 grand? Yeah. So you'll still make what, 100 grand? Easily 100 to 200 grand?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think you got 1.6.5 on that.
Yeah, 1.6.5.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one sold literally in January.
Yeah.
And it's 200 square feet smaller and it's 6 houses down. It's like
Yeah.
the perfect comp.
Wow. So if it doesn't sell for 1.6.5, we get our money back.
Yeah.
Right?
Anything over 160 he gets.
And then he gets. Actually, that's a good idea.
That's a great wholesale deal.
I know. Okay.
So I have a question. So you actually bought from the market, right?
No, I bought it off market. So as an agent I've known for 3 years, she called me about it. I was like, I literally looked at it from the desk and I was like, okay, I'll tie it up. So I sight unseen, I sent her an offer or how I wanted my offer. And she knows the deal is I'm gonna relist with her. So she just went to her client, tied it up. But she wanted to get the marketing exposure. So she went and put it on the market after it was already tied up so that
Yeah.
she could run a couple open houses as
I see. Get more
contingent.
buyers.
That's right.
Yeah. Smart.
Unfortunately, I got multiple backup offers by doing it that way.
Yeah.
So now there's no room on my side to negotiate. I can't go back and go, well, I did inspections and price needs to come down because it's just not positioned that way.
Yeah. Just break out the windows.
Yeah.
Somebody is vandalizing it.
It's
Is that Leslie again? She broke everything?
Would you do it again? Would you, I mean, next time situation like this comes up, when an agent will ask you to list it, would you do it again?
If she could list it after I tied it up? No, I don't like that at all. I mean, to be honest, why create all this attention around the property? You have no room to negotiate or extend or do what you need to. But she kind of was like, hey, I'm bringing this to you. I'm going to make sure you get tied up, but I'm going to list it. And it's kind of like, okay.
Well, the backup offers are good, maybe you can just sell it to one of those backup offers.
She was, it's funny, this lady, we were already in contract, and she was trying to sell to us. She's like, man, this is such a good deal. I already had someone say they would offer me 1.5. I was like,
And 1.5.
bring them over. They'll sign the contract. I'll split it with you. Let's go. But, you know, I think she's just talking.
Yeah. Typical agent.
Very nice. So with this one, if we were to buy at 1.2, we can get 10% down with hard money with Ironbridge, right? So let's say Ironbridge gives us 90% of loan. So 10% is how much? 120,000? Is my math correct? 120,000?
Yeah.
And then where can we get 120,000?
Tom?
Yeah.
From here.
And then I'm gonna ask Tam or someone. There's probably a lot of private money lenders here probably interested, right? Would you be interested in landing on a deal like this? Want to raise your hand? I know who you are. And I'm gonna talk to you after. Any private money lenders? Perfect. So that's how we put deals together. We get the private money with the hard money, and it's a safe spread. So you can see how we run the numbers. We're not buying risky deals. These are pretty safe spread, right? So it has enough room for everyone, for the hard money lender, the private money lender, and even the contractor makes $60,000. That's a lot of money, right?
That means he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
That's like one kitchen remodel. Okay.
Cabinets do cost money, don't they?
So that's a good deal. If you want to talk to David to buy it, Dave and Leslie, is it the same price if we talk to either of you? Can I get it cheaper from you?
She's smarter than I am, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm probably gonna stick to it.
Yeah? Tough negotiators. Okay. That's their deal, and they have a lot of deals. So always reach out to them if you want to either partner up with them or buy their deals. So let's we'll look at your project list first, and then we'll ask you Q&A after. So these are all the deals you did. I'm gonna skim through. Which one should I question you about? Which one made the most money?
Oakland.
1.8.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
That's more than my purchase price.
Yeah, that was
Wow,
a good deal.
I never bought that high before. And you made that. How did you do that? So that's
You want to talk about Oakland?
Oakland?
Yeah. So the most money I made on a deal was 1.8 million.
Wow.
It was 19 single-family homes in Oakland. A law firm had won the packet of properties through a legal proceeding. It was their award. But the guy who they won it from was like a very litigious man, and even though they had gone through all the challenges he could go through in court, you knew buying it he was going to for sure sue you just to make you have to deal with lis pendens and deal with all this stuff. So we bought it knowing we were going to get sued. And how many times did he re-sue it?
3.
3 times.
On top of that, it was 19 family homes that had 10 tenants in it that were like non-responsive, so you handled all the evictions. How'd that process go?
Pretty good. I only have one left actually, but, so, the first 9 were great. Really easy. New, different, but it was good.
So you have to evict them, did you have to pay them money to leave, or?
Actually, there was only one that took that offer. I think she was like ready to go anyways,
Yeah.
and I said we could do this the easy way or the hard way. Like, you're kind of going either way, and she was like, okay,
Yeah.
well, I could use some help, and I wanted to help her get out anyway, so we gave her like $2,500. I think it wasn't anything too crazy.
That's it?
To move out. Yeah,
Wow.
like I said, some of these people hadn't really been paying rent. They'd been paying this other guy for a while.
Yeah.
So we had sent notices several times from our attorneys, and then some of them were actually already under eviction,
Mhm.
and they knew the sheriff was coming. But sometimes they can reapply for a stay,
Yeah.
so they can add another month. So I just go in advance and say, hey, like obviously you're going to be evicted. And instead of having the chance of being extended another month, I'd say I'll give you $2,500 to leave right now,
Yeah.
or like by this such and such date, and then that kind of gives them money to move
Yeah.
or a deposit on another place.
Okay.
So
That's really good,
So,
2,500.
so anyway, basically it was, we knew we got sued, we got stuck in court for 6 months while we were in court, or 4 months or whatever it was. We were going through the eviction processes, we rehabbed some we decided not to rehab, and, yeah, so, fun lawsuits.
What attorney bills cost?
$100,000.
No, it had to have been more than that.
It was like 100.
100?
Yeah.
Felt like more every time I
Okay.
turned around, it was a 10 grand bill, I was just like, this is ridiculous.
And you had
Actually,
Pete-
that,
you had
actually
Tito?
100, not including the tenant evictions. I should say that.
We were probably at 150.
So it was, yeah, probably 150
Okay.
with the tenant eviction cost.
Still
One
good.
of the evictions alone was $20,000.
Okay, quite a bit of your time with your, quite a bit of your time during that initial process.
Yeah.
So how did you get that lead again, from an attorney that connected you, or?
Yeah, so, you know, people ask me this question all the time, like, where do you guys get your deals? And honestly, we're constantly like getting more deals than we can buy, and like, last year, I think it was March, when we were like, dude, we can't handle any more deals, so I just stopped
Yeah.
getting deals, and then it was probably September, October, when it was like, okay, we're ready again. We already have 15 million in projects going right now.
Yeah.
The reality is, people, like, anytime you go sit with a real estate agent, when you say, what's the number one challenge of flipping, the first thing they'll tell you is no deals. And everyone thinks it's like this impossible thing to get deals, but I don't think so, man. I mean, like, if you met 10 new real estate agents a week and just said, hey, I'm getting into wholesaling, I wanna buy deals, here's my parameters, and here's what I want, like, you will get deal flow. And you have to underwrite a lot. I mean, in my desk right now, I'd usually look at deals from 5:30 to 6, and I was here instead, or on my way. And so I'll look at them later, but I probably get 70, 80 deals a month, and I'll buy maybe one. So it's a matter of see a lot of people, have a lot of conversations, underwrite a lot of deals, get really familiar and comfortable with what's in front of you, and cherry pick the really good ones. But people go, I'm working so hard, and I'm like, well, how many new prospecting appointments did you take this week? Well, none. How about the week before? Well, none. And it's like, it's not that hard to get deals, you just have to like super 10x the effort.
Yeah, so the faster way would be to call you.
Yeah.
That's our fun with you.
Yeah, but then you gotta cut me in on the equity, forget it. It's gonna get you on-
That's why I'm gonna call Leslie after.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut you out. Actually, that's really good. I'm really proud to see that you made a 1.8, so that's awesome.
Question?
Yes.
So when you're meeting the realtors, are you, I know you're not taking a lot of time with them, are you educating them on your like profit analysis, or like what is that look like when you're meeting with them? It's just like, hey, I'm looking for deals, or do you educate them on exactly what you're looking for in terms of how you structure?
You know, every agent's different, and so like some people are just like boom, 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 and you're in and out of there and you don't say much, and then if they find a deal, they'll call you. I think a lot of agents I used to educate and try and explain, and then they'd still send a bunch of crap that I wouldn't buy, so it's just like, they're gonna send what they're gonna send, and you gotta parse through 80, and that's part of the gig. So I'm usually more high level and just say, my go-to line is, if you look at this and think if I had the money, I would buy it, that's probably the one I want. And anything short of that is probably not the one I want. But I do tell them, like, what does the house look like? Like, it's usually a paid-for house. It's usually maybe an inheritance or somebody a quarter type of situation. There's a couple of key characteristics that when you start seeing it, you sort of know that's probably a deal.
What's your process of analyzing a deal? If you had 5 minutes.
What he just did. I go to Zillow, I put the address in, I filter down to single families last 6 months, sold and active, and I just look a little radius around. I mean, I probably underwrite in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Do you need Leslie's approval for every deal?
No.
No?
He signs up for whatever. And just says, here you go.
Well, no, I mean, she does the bids, right? So once I mean, I can loosely see that the numbers are, say, 70% rule. I like a 60% rule.
Yeah.
So to give you guys a sense, like, because we have so much deal flow, I only want to buy 50 to 60% rule because, you know, I'm going to spend time and energy on ones that don't have big margin. Because what I found is every time you project one thing, and there's always something that comes up, time or money or this or that, so you project 15 or 20% profit and you end up at 10, and you're feeling pretty good. You can see up there, you want to highlight those losses?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, how about that? How about writing a 220 grand check?
That's not too bad, that's a write-off.
Oh. It was December.
So what happened on, or what can
Look
you
this
help
up.
us understand?
365 Banks. That's Bad Luck Street. Don't buy there.
Yeah.
365 Banks.
That's right by your flip.
Oh, you wanna buy it? I'll wholesale to you. 365.
Hell no, I'm on that deal.
Bank San Francisco. We're all gonna get $200,000 write-offs.
That's right.
Okay, let's take a look. Bernal Heights is good. Now I'm getting worried. That's where we bought.
So we're right by Cortland and everything.
So what happened here is beautiful house, 1,600 square feet. That's huge. So how come you only got wait,
1.6.
So 1.6? That's good, right?
Well,
we
that's
bought it for
below market.
1.1 and we spent
1.1?
3 on fixing it up.
Yeah,
So yeah.
300,000.
Was that the basement? You actually incorporated the basement?
Yes.
So you dig, right?
Dug
Yeah.
out the foundation.
You dig the foundation.
That was a bad one. You know, it was one of these situations where it was the first time we were going to San Francisco, first time we had done a basement, and we were thinking like, we were used to San Jose. If you look at all our flips before that, we did little 1,500 square foot homes, there's 70 grand rehabs. Like, we had a number for what we thought rehab was gonna be.
Yeah.
So the contractor first went out there and said 300, and we were like, get out of town, right?
Wait, a San Francisco contractor said that.
Bush.
Oh, no, it was.
It was our guy.
Yeah.
So then what we did is we shopped him with a bunch of contractors and beat his bid down to like 170.
170.
And then we got into the deal and it was like, it went right back to the 300 that it should have been the whole time. He gave us the right number.
Yeah.
And he just didn't like say, dude, you're wrong, here's why they're wrong, let's explain it. He's just like, yeah, I'll get it done, and then opted not to. So, and it also took like double the time. We were selling at the wrong time of year. There was a lot of reasons why that deal didn't go well.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, we're in the middle of one $5 million project and one $8 million project where we're digging out foundations again.
Yeah.
But guess what we budgeted for construction on these ones? Like, what was the budget on Larkin that we just bought?
1.7 million.
1.7 million.
1.7 million. So it's like this stuff, we're just learning. It's like you gotta budget it correctly if you're gonna get
It's
into
not,
these projects.
it's not 1,400 square feet, it is 8,300 square feet, so.
800 square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big's the basement?
Basement's 2,000.
2,000.
So who picked out this green tile?
The awesome contractor.
I like it.
It actually looked good when you went in there.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as the picture showed.
And because we were out of money on the project, like, it looks really nice in the photos because Leslie does a really good job with making sure the photography comes out great. But when you walked in there, there was just a little bit of shoddiness. I mean,
I like your bed sheets, David.
Yeah. Race car bed sheets.
Looks fast. Nice backyard. Okay. So how did it add up so much? 300,000.
Oh, no, you go basements, middle,
Foundation.
120
Well, yeah,
for.
the foundation and
Yeah.
then, well, we had to switch contractors too, so that's not fun.
Yeah. So more costs.
Halfway through. Yeah, it's just one of those deals.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's only 200,000.
It was a great learning experience.
Yeah.
Was that out of your pocket, David? Or that's
Thanks for writing that check.
You paid your tuition.
Yeah, exactly.
Did she get a pay deduction for that project? For
Oh, I didn't get paid.
But
That's okay, I learned a lot.
I know, that's more valuable. Okay, so that's a
Do you have
bad
no
project.
contingencies you offer, no contingencies when you make an offer?
I always have contingency.
Yeah.
So like, if you think about it, I'm seeing 200 realtors a year. I have sick follow-up systems. Like realtors, once I've seen them, they get calls and texts and emails all automated. So you gotta understand my origination system is really strong. So like, I'm getting 80 deals a month. Like if the numbers aren't great and I can't get the offer terms just the way that I want it, it's like, okay, next deal, right? So I almost always have a contingency. I get out there with my contractor, I look it over. I usually beat them up on price after that. Like I'm never in a situation where like a deal's been chopped to 5 people and we're all fighting for it. Like I don't get into that. Even this one right here where she put it on the market after we tied it up, honestly, that was more competition than I like to see.
So this was on MLS, right?
No, it was off, we tied it up, and then she listed it to get exposure after.
David, when you're hitting realtors, agents, in what format do they present you the deals so you can save your time?
We have a really slick website that we built that like is basically like they can log in and they start to type an address and just like Zillow, it pops down and they can hit it and then they
See that website?
Oh, you're gonna have, and you need like logins and stuff for it, like each
It's okay,
agent
you
gets
give
their
us
own
login.
login. I
I'm
don't
just
have
kidding.
it.
I'm just kidding.
So so literally it pops down, you put the bed bath count in, our system automatically computes construction based on like area, square footage, out price,
Wow.
that kind of stuff.
You built that.
So it'll literally tell the agent before they submit, like, we'll buy this. It says like, hits the profit margin green or yellow, pretty close, like.
That's pretty cool.
And it's all set up and like, so we do tell them like, hey, submit the properties this way. You also get credit for anything submitted, because if somebody else sends the same property, whoever sent it first gets the credit, so we want them to do that. But if anyone's worked with agents in here, you know, like, about a quarter will follow instructions, and then a quarter will call, and then a quarter will text, and a quarter will email. So when we get them, we just put them into our own system after. So the agents will send them how they send them.
Nice. Can we buy your system?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you build that system yourself and the app, or are you outsourcing it?
We have a full-time marketing guy, so like if you go look at nestoffer.com, you could go type an address in, it's consumer facing, and then the consumer can see what we would pay for it. And then we have agent facing, where the agent, it goes into the back end and shows construction costs and what we would pay for it. That works well for simple flips. Like right now, we're doing a ton of bigger multi-million apartment buildings. Whoever said they have an apartment building in Santa Cruz, we should connect after. I like those kinds of deals. So it doesn't work as well on those because the comps are a little more complicated.
So Nest offers your website, huh?
Yeah.
So what would you buy 365 banks for?
Now?
Let's see. Let's see what you buy for.
Hopefully it fails the system.
1 million, that's about right. You bought for 1.1.
Yep.
So that's exactly pretty accurate. Wow. That's so smart. I'm gonna use this every time we go.
You should say a little less. Maybe
Major repairs. That's
Nice.
really nice. Okay, I'm gonna put that on my business card, but give me the leads.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll send them right
Well,
over.
you can, yeah.
Tell them to type it in and email
Okay,
us.
perfect.
Yeah. You can represent all the real estate.
I like that. That's so cool.
You know, it's realtor proof almost.
Almost.
Well, this here is consumer facing. Our realtor site's slick. It like
Yeah.
shows them the back end of profit margins. We want everything.
Yeah, more advanced, huh? Very cool, very cool. How much did this whole system cost to build?
Well, I mean, the guy gets a salary, but
Yeah. You
I
just
don't-
built it.
he just built it.
Nice. Can we hire him?
I got him moving full time.
Part time?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna run through more questions, but feel free to ask more. I have a list of questions that we can go over.
Do you have something?
I just want to know, what's it for the agent? Is that list on the market and sell it to you? What is in it for the agent?
Why do they come to us?
Yes, yes.
You want the pitch right now?
You know.
I'll give you the 1 minute version. How about that? So, we're not the, like you were like, hey, I'll pay the highest price of anyone in here. We're not that guy. I don't want to go scrap and fight for the, like, who's gonna do it for the cheapest. We're like, we do funky stuff, like a $4 million portfolio of homes that you know you're gonna get sued with, or homes in San Francisco where you're digging out foundations. Most early investors are just not gonna take a deal like that, cause it's too complicated. And so most of the stuff we do, we're doing hard stuff. As you can see, I mean, those numbers are real. At one point last year, we had 25 million in projects going. I'm really good at raising capital. And I also have personally good financials, so like, I can sign for lots of debt. So, you know, what's in it for the agents is that the hard ones, we'll get them done. We wanna do funky stuff, burn damage, red tags, whatever, complicated. But because of that, we're gonna buy it super cheap. When we do the construction, we're gonna do high-end construction and do a great job. And we'll also double in with the agent. We're working on a program right now with the agents where we're gonna set an out price. So we say if it's 1.6 is the out, you get your full 6%. But if it goes 1.7, you get 7%. If it goes 1.8, you get 8%. And we just elevator it up. So we had one agent who we did a deal with, it was a Carmel deal. And this guy ended up, he got 6 on the buy, because he took both sides, and then I think he got 7 or 8 on the sell, and he only paid out 2.5% to the markets. This guy made like 130 grand. It's probably half his commission for the year. So it's like, you know, we want to start creating ways where we get the really deep deals at 50% of the ARV or 60% of the ARV, and we're working to take great care of the agents because they're 70% of our deal flow.
70%.
Wow.
Okay.
That's really impressive.
Very cool. So we're gonna take a step back so that everyone can kind of learn how you started and learn about your background. Just for all the new people that want to know how to even start. Now, all these numbers are pretty impressive, but I can't buy a $5 million complex. I'm gonna start in Oakland.
Send it to us.
Yeah, we'll partner with you. Come on over.
With some tenants and everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna live there and get some 500.
We love apartment complexes.
Nice, okay. Yeah, we'll keep that in mind. So first question is, how did you get started in real estate and what made you want to join real estate? That's for both, so just answer freely.
Well, I got started because of this guy. I just started managing some of the smaller time projects in Santa Clara and managing the contractor and doing some of the design stuff, you know, kind of randomly picking out stuff, and the contractor was picking out, I would say, 70% of the stuff then. And then I actually figured out I was really good at it and really detail oriented.
Yeah.
Sticking to schedules. I hold it, you know, contractors up to
Is that because he's always working out or something?
He's too busy working out. And so we did those couple, and then we just started taking more and more deals. He's really good with the idea strategy, and I'm really good at implementing it. So, yeah, that's how I got started. And
awesome. What was your background? What did you do before that?
I was in the car business for like 12 years.
Okay, sales, car
sales, subprime auto lending, finance, repos, everything.
Nice.
I used to flip when I was like 15 cars to put myself through college. So yeah, I've been working for a while.
Flip cars to flip houses.
Yeah, why not? What's
awesome.
next?
Same difference.
Yeah.
Planes next.
Yeah.
Planes.
Do you have any in-house employees?
So we have, every one of our employees is like contract basis, so like we do equity per deal, and so she's got some personal projects she's worked on and things like that. The marketing guy, he does projects for my loan business, for this business, so he again is on like paid for project type of situation. So no, do we have employees? Yeah.
And how do you scale? Obviously you general almost everything. You have a general contractor work on every single project.
And then I have
you do weekly
assistants
basis.
that I pay, but I'm still 1099, and they're still 1099. So
Okay.
we just go that way.
And the general contract takes on most of the liability on that, on the construction side.
Yeah.
Okay. With a hard fixed bid with your allowances.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, how do you scale? At some point, like, you know, if you total up our profit from last year, it's a few million bucks. Like we were talking about it. We just had this discussion. I started selling again, and we got all these new deals coming in. We already have 3-4 million of profit on the books for this year, and it's like, I was like, well, what if we made this a $30 million company? And she looks at me and it's like, what if we didn't? Okay, I see you. So I don't know. We may not scale.
Yeah, I mean, we're workout time for you.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Scale.
And then how did you start?
Scale.
David? What was your background? How did you start?
So I had 1 year of college. I came home from summer. There was an ad in the newspaper. It was for a loan job, and that gives you a sense of how long ago this was. And I got a job in mortgage. I made 50 grand that summer, and I was like, that was the end of school. So I was in the mortgage business for 3 years, and then 08 hit, and then my company went out of business, so I started actually 3 in a row, in all of the span of a year went out of business. So I was like, I started my own. that, I still have that today. It's a very busy business. We're in Carmel, San Francisco, here, Oakland. But in 2014, we get a lot of our loan business from realtors, so I have a deep network. One of my agents brought me a deal, and you know, I think we bought it. It was the very first one up there. We bought it for $1 million, sold it for 1.3, and I was like, okay, I'm a property investor. You'll see the next few after that were much smaller and more reasonable, but like once I started getting a taste for it, I was like ready to go.
Yeah, so from loans, you met real estate agents to deals.
That's it.
Okay.
And now think about loans, like we're a terrible commodity to real estate agents. Even this day, I still make cold calls just to stay fresh. I get hung up on 10, 12 times a week. Like, it's just keeps your veins cold. But so you go from calling someone to say, will you send me loans, and like, don't call me, to like calling someone saying, I have lots of money and I want to buy things that make you commission. I don't remember the last time I hung up on making that phone call. So I think of the agents like I do in the loan business, and if you notice to her question when it's like, how do you take care of agents? We treat the agents really well. We apply the same follow-up systems. We have the same really like, you know, level 10 out of 10. We treat this thing like a business. And so, you know, I know a lot of flippers are thinking, oh, well, you know, I'll do it on the side and get one here or there. Like, it's 50, 60 hours a week. How many hours do you work this week?
Already? It's Tuesday.
I mean, we treat it like
a... share that number.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, she'll tell you later. Get her wine.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know, probably on the flip business, 60 hours for the current projects we have going. 60 hours a week.
Yeah, I mean, we work a lot, we get after it, and I say take 10 agents meetings a week. Does anyone else in here take 10 new agents that you're asking for business per week? Well, how much time is that really? Like 10 hours? If that? It's not really that many hours, and it's not like you're breaking your back doing construction. Like, it's just not that hard. Like, so, you know, I think if you treat it with that intensity, the sky's the limit in this business.
Very nice. So, loan business, flip business, and then we'll talk about your Airbnb a little bit later too. That's also interesting.
Yeah.
So when you
We
first
don't
start,
like your nightclub?
Yeah.
the nightclub.
That's the side venture. That's another topic.
Let me know when's the grand opening.
You missed it. We'll plan a trip out.
So how did you buy your first flip? So did you save money, you raised money, or how did you do that?
So the realtor who brought me the deal, he and I, when we decided we wanted to buy it and flip it, we got a hard money loan. They gave us 100% financing, and we
100%.
just cross-collateralized our houses.
100%. Which lender is that does 100%?
I think anyone will do that, because we cross-collateralized our personal residences, so we had equity.
Yeah, so that's probably more than 10-15%.
Oh, we had plenty of equity in our houses, so like that was kind of the deal.
Yeah.
And so, to be honest, I don't think my house alone had enough equity. So we
Yeah.
definitely needed his house. So like if you're thinking of a strategy, how do you leverage?
Yeah.
If you know someone who's got a house, they don't owe much on it, has so much equity,
Yeah.
you can 100% finance a deal and just cross-collateralize that house.
That's
So-
better than raising money. You don't have to do anything. You just
Yeah, except for people signing on their house they live in. They gotta get that by their wife.
It's okay. Wife doesn't have to know.
I'm staying out of that.
No, you're not gonna be married too long.
That's why I'm not married.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
She'll
Using
take
the,
your first,
equity.
and second, and third house. Don't worry.
I got
Wow,
stories about that.
I didn't even think about that. Using the house as down payment.
It's a great way to raise.
Yeah. Do you know any people that are willing to do that?
Yeah.
Did he have to, was he a partner, did he have to be a member of an LLC with you to be able to do that?
We bought it as individuals, and we both personally guaranteed, personally signed, personally secured the deeds against our houses. Today, I would never do that again. We would create an LLC, give each other shares, and who gets who what. And I wouldn't personally guarantee, but you're personally guaranteeing it with your house, so.
So how would you do that if you had an LLC? So let's say
You would just both be members. So let's say me and you collateralized our houses and we
Yeah.
were partners. We'd try and put an LLC agreement,
Yeah.
do the loan in that name, and then the loan would go against the house you buy
Yeah.
and your house with equity.
Oh, so you still buy it under the LLC?
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
So your house is still at risk, but if somebody trips and falls and breaks their neck, you can't get sued personally.
Yeah. Very smart. So how's your first flip experience? We saw that you did make money, right? Your
The first one was like,
really good.
we thought flipping was so easy.
And And what did you learn from that one? Anything, key points?
Yeah, that one we screwed up. Like the way we bought it as is, like it was just fine. We should have just sold it. We got a screaming deal on the price we got it at.
Yeah.
But we tried to overthink it. We were like, okay, well let's spend 20 grand doing carpet and paint, and so that maybe someone who could live here might buy it.
Yeah.
And then we also went to an architect and had him draw plans to knock down the house and build it. So we were thinking like, so we spent 10 grand on that. So we were thinking we're gonna market this thing like to someone who might build it or to some consumer who may get it done. And we carried the money for 30 or 60 days messing around with this stuff, and then we also spent money on stuff where someone came in, didn't use our plan, and knocked it down to build it. So it was like, we just didn't understand like who was gonna buy the house, and we didn't understand how to mind our P's and Q's and move quickly and get to sale as fast as possible.
Yeah, so someone just bought the land basically.
Yeah.
Can we check that out real quick? So let's check out your first flip. Okay, what's the address again? When we put up?
It's on Cottle, I can't remember now.
Cottle, let's see. 2454 Cottle. 2454 Cottle. Did you want to check that out on your phones? 2454 Cottle.
So you're gonna see what the guy after us came and did, right?
Did he flip that too, or did he just live in it?
No, he bought it and flipped it.
Oh, he flipped it?
He did really well on it.
So he flipped
bought
it?
it for we bought it for $1 million. He
Yeah.
bought it for 1.3 off of us.
Yeah.
He probably built it for, I don't know, you can look at the house, it's pretty nice.
So he flipped the flip.
Yeah, he probably spent $1 million building it and got 2.8. So, to this room, what that was a wholesale deal.
Mm-hmm.
We should have tied it up,
And
not
wholesale it.
closed and paid points and fees, but
Yeah.
not done crap to the property and shopped it in a room like this and just gotten a wholesale deal off of it.
Wow, so he made, so let's say 1.5,
So
and
he
he built it for $1 million?
He bought it for 1.3.
1.3?
And then I'd say he built it, I don't know.
800.
Joe, you built it.
800.
800 over there?
800, 200
Yeah,
per square feet?
When did he finish that? What year?
2015.
2004?
Yeah.
Oh, he must have finished in 15.
Yeah, 900,000.
Yeah, 900,000.
So he's into a 2.4 and got 2.8? I don't like that deal. New construction, 2.4 and 2.8. That seems too tight to me.
So now it's worth probably more, 3.5.
Where is it?
Willow Glen.
It's really like, it's very
Willow
nice
Glen.
neighborhood.
It's kind of nice. I don't see the kitchen.
There's no kitchen.
No kitchen.
Yeah. They eat out every night.
The kitchen's okay. It's not a $3 million kitchen.
Too dark.
Wow, they actually sold it. Very impressive. Okay, so learning lesson, always wholesale.
Yeah.
Did you have a question earlier? Jeff?
Yeah, can you go over your follow-up systems? How you said that you have automated calls, texts, and...
So we have all of our agents in Salesforce. So the way we have it programmed is when they call us, it automatically tracks that somebody has called in and it gives us a task to go set a meeting and meet with them. Once we've met with them, if we mark that we like them, we've built our own software. It's integrated into Salesforce where every second week they get 1 week a call, 1 week an automated voicemail, 1 week an email, and 1 week a text.
The call is an automated call?
I'm sorry, voicemail, email, text. Rotates between those three. And we don't write it to where it's progressive, we write it to where it's generic. So like, for example, on let's say on Labor Day, it would be like, Happy Labor Day, hoping you're having your fun with your family. So it's very personal. We don't want to end up with egg on our face where if somebody called us the day before and we're like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. Like I actually paid a copywriter 10 grand to like write out this campaign that even if you had talked to them the day before, they could have gotten that text and you don't look like an idiot. Like I said, we treat this thing like a business. It's marketing, we put it together the right way.
Yeah. So Salesforce can do that in Salesforce?
Right.
Through other apps, or is that the Salesforce?
We custom built an app inside of that. Actually, my programmer is creating a private label version of that, so it should be out in the next few months.
Really? So we can buy or rent it, or?
Yeah, I don't know how he's gonna do pricing, but it's in play.
Very smart. So every week, voicemail, email, and text.
Yeah, I do it every 2 weeks just to keep it
Every
fresh.
2 weeks. Okay, very cool. And FaceTime.
No FaceTime. You would be smart to put a video in that sequence.
Yeah.
But
what kind of video?
Who knows? Something generic.
That's pretty smart. Questions?
So if the agent gets back to you, like respond to your message, like do you then contact them manually, or is it still?
Yeah, like so I sent out a happy Thanksgiving. I think I got 113 texts back on there at my computer. Go get that stuff. You know, whatever. At some point, I'm gonna have an assistant do that, or Leslie's assistant will do that.
Virtual assistant?
It's you what, needs a nuance in the language.
And then after that, do you like ask them for deals or?
None of my texts ask for deals. You know how it is, these agents, if you think about it, right, it's not like there's some skilled agent. If there's some agent anybody in this room could go to and like could feed you your 10 deals a year or whatever you're trying to do, they would be your best friend and you would be totally loyal and it would be your person, right? But the reality is these deals are 1 in 1,000. It's just lucky. It just so happens that it's that one seller that he's a hoarder and he's been in the neighborhood 30 years and he doesn't want the neighbors to see his house, so he knows he's getting less, but he wants off market and he wants clean and flexible terms, right? And most agents see that once every 2 years. It's not, no matter how hard they try. So it's really just about, they know you, they find out who you are, and you're there in that 6 months or 12 months or 18 months or 24 months when they find it.
If they don't remember you, how do you remind them?
They get a text and an email and a voicemail every 2 weeks. They'll remember.
What is the content of all those different messages? So it's not spam.
Super generic. Happy Thanksgiving.
There's only one Thanksgiving a year.
Then it's
You're doing 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, that's a lot.
every 2 weeks. Well, it's only 12 touches, so it's like, oh, happy Labor Day, or oh man, I just, you know, like, it's just really generic. The copywriter did a good job.
Does it have their name too, or just say?
It does have their name.
Okay.
And then at the text, it says dash my name at the bottom.
Yeah.
Also to remind them who I am. Like if they didn't save my number in their phone,
Yeah.
it's like, they remember.
Okay.
The next one will be Happy Valentine's.
That's it, whatever.
Christmas Day.
I think there's a spring cleaning reminder, it's generic.
There's a lady for you.
Very nice. I was gonna ask you, how many agents do you have in that system now?
In just the flip side?
Just that Salesforce?
In the flip side, I wanna say 400 to 500.
400 to 500, is it?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, think about it, I meet every one of them before I put them in, so I'm not gonna like blind put
Yeah.
a list in. So I won't
Yeah.
take the Santa Clara County list and put it in, because then every agent in the office is gonna get it and it looks stupid.
Yeah, that's okay.
So, but if I'm taking 5 agents a week,
Yeah.
it's, you know, I'm getting 200 a year or whatever it
Yeah.
is. I would say 200 agent meetings a year would smoke anybody's sales effort that I've ever met.
Yeah.
So if I get 150 meetings in a year, I'm doing pretty
So
good.
you actually want to meet them face to face?
Every person.
Okay.
Do you go to their office, see them?
I'll see them where I see them. Sometimes they come see me.
Okay. Where are you targeting? San Francisco, South Bay, East Bay, or?
Well, now we've got a sales guy in San Francisco. We've got a guy here. We just started our sales guy in San Diego.
Also, the sales guys gets deals for you?
That's,
He'll
yeah,
go-
they'll make the phone calls, set the meetings.
Oh.
Sometimes they'll take the meeting. I'll take
Yeah.
the meeting with them.
Gotcha.
So we're expanding outside of
I see.
my personal effort.
Nice.
And
So
Reno.
you-
Reno, God,
And
we
Reno.
got Reno going. It's
have two
booming
in
up there.
Wow.
Never had about
Okay, so this is more quality, not quantity.
Correct.
Okay.
We
Awesome.
started out doing that thing where you got the list of agents and email blasted everybody.
Yeah.
The domain that we did that under started getting like spam problems and
Yeah.
it just, I'm not saying it doesn't work because I think we might have gotten a deal or two out of it, but
Yeah.
I like the concept. I actually like hanging out with these people and kind of talking to them and
Yeah, good to
having
know.
that moment.
Yeah. Okay. Face to face.
How do you choose an agent that you wanna talk to? I
We
mean,
target between 6 deals and 18 deals per year or something like that. The reason is the guy's doing 30, 40, 50, like a Prashant. He's got 3 buyer's agents, he's got all this stuff going on. It's, even if you pin him down, it's hard for him to control his buyer's agents to think he get to refer. So if they get too many deals, it's too many, and then if they're like 1 to 5, it's a hard transaction, and you've promised them the listing on the way out, so
they're hungry.
it's not a good situation.
So now, in this competitive market, you said you don't even submit offers with no contingencies, huh? Since you have no competition.
That's right.
Yeah, so basically you just submit whatever price you want.
Yeah, because we'll say, that's kind of, well, from the desk, I mean, our system can do it, I could probably do it. Yeah, so no, very rarely, well, because otherwise if you do want to do no contingency, you'd have to buy it super cheap,
Yeah.
or you'd have to get out there with your contractor. My contractors are busy, I don't want to waste their time going to
Yeah.
a property we don't have tied up.
The same message said last time.
Yeah, right, so, you tie it up first and then you need a
Yeah.
contingency to go look at it.
Okay. That's pretty safe, because we're submitting offers with no contingencies. like 10% deposits, so we're a little more aggressive. Yeah, but that's
I hope I don't go up against you.
Okay, so let's talk about your team, how it's all set up, because it sounds like a pretty good setup. The lead generation, acquisition, disposition, all that. So how does your team look right now?
We're very small, so.
Very small?
Leslie carries the entire load on her back, basically after we bought it. Actually, while we were through due diligence, to buying it, to close, to staging, to marketing, to finish.
Even afterwards, yeah.
Even afterwards, sometimes, you know, that's all Leslie. I'm responsible for meeting the agents, bringing in the deals, and I raise the money.
Yeah.
And then we have a kind of quiet guy behind the scenes who's out in the boondocks in New York, where no one can find him. He does all of our
that's the
websites,
marketing
marketing.
guy.
Yeah.
So we can never find him.
That's it, I'm hiding him. So, and
you two,
just and him.
And him, that's it.
We are right now working on, again, like I said, we just brought in a salesperson for San Francisco here and San Diego, so
Yeah.
I think because we have such efficiency in the Salesforce follow-up, I think we can expand pretty aggressively with salespeople. Problem is, we're gonna get more deals than we know what to do with, and then.
Right, just wholesale it. Or just give it
That's
away.
what I keep saying.
Just give it to me.
Yeah.
Hours.
So you're gonna build that, you're gonna expand and scale. I was gonna ask you one more question, I forgot. So how do you process all the tasks then? You just kind of know, or use a
I have a
system?
task flow list, and
Task
then
flow?
I actually have an assistant, so, after doing so many deals, I just said, well, there should actually be a checklist to this, and then, she does most of it, and then I meet with her once or twice a week,
Yeah.
and go over any places that she can't do it, or I run into it, or I mark off things that David's done and stuff like that, so I task the list, and then I have like other schedule of values for the contractors and templates that I've created.
Okay, nice. Anything online, or is this all paper?
I mean, it's all on the laptop Excel. I'm like an Excel freak.
Oh, you use Excel for task management?
Everything.
Yeah.
We
Pretty
could,
cool.
we could put the task management spreadsheet into Salesforce and run the tasks through Salesforce.
Yeah.
The business is so small, we just haven't done that. In my loan business, we're at that point where all tasks are inside of Salesforce.
It's all in Salesforce. So Salesforce could be a task management
Oh,
system.
for sure, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that would be probably coming up if we kept this rate,
Okay.
but.
It's best me and Ray that just
How
talk
much,
and figure it out.
how much is Salesforce to have that system, or just to sign up with them?
It's like $1,500 a month.
A year.
$1,500 a month?
A year.
$1,500 a
A
year.
year.
But to get the process, like, all the task stuff in
Yeah.
Salesforce, that's what costs money.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with implementing it and changing stuff, but I think it's like $1,500 a year.
Not too bad.
It's not terrible. Well, because we have, on the loan side, because we have so many users, it's like 20 grand a year. We have
20 grand a year.
We have about a 2 grand a month Salesforce engineer where we like change reporting and views
Yeah.
and this or that. So because we have all that infrastructure, we kind of just dropped it right onto the business. It was pretty easy.
Wow, okay, Salesforce.
How much are you spending on marketing, where you're at right here every month?
You want to take that one?
$3,000 to $4,000, if you include Stephen?
For per year?
Oh, per year?
Okay, we have the employee, which is Stephen, which is $3K a month, and then actual dollars spent. It's mostly just me eating out obnoxiously.
Yeah, because you don't do any mailing or anything,
No,
right? Where
no
people,
consumer
so
direct.
you're just kind of engaging face to face.
Right, so lots of meals, and like, for the agents that I really like, good, you know, if we ended up out at somewhere nice, I wouldn't care about $1,000 dinner here or there, whatever, but like, yeah, no, we don't spend any money. We did a consumer direct experiment, it turned into a deal. It was 20 grand per close is what we figured the metric to be. The reason we steered away from that is because it's a lot of work. Like, it's like you get 50 phone calls and somebody's gotta drive and go see this customer and deal with all that energy and emotion, and it's like, I'd rather the agents do that, and then we employ the sales force by paying real estate commissions.
You mentioned earlier that about 70% of your deals are coming from real estate agents. Where is the remainder of the business coming from?
Is this being filmed?
No.
Just kidding. No, random, like, one of them was like, lived 10 houses down from the guy I bought it with. One of them actually, I'll say the real answer, my old pot dealer from when I was 18 was like living in a paid-for house, and the lady she was living with was looking to sell, and she called me, and I hadn't talked to her in 7 years. And like, so you just can't make this stuff. And this one, I went to the house, and her and the brother were estranged, and I was literally, the brother was in Brentwood, or Disco Bay, and they wouldn't talk, and I would have to like drive these packages back and forth between the two of them to like get this deal done. And at the end of that deal, I was like, I'm never doing a deal without a real estate agent again. Even if I get it off market, I'm gonna call a real, actually I had one recently on Bellamy. We had it off market with no realtor. We brought a realtor in to facilitate the transaction, and he did an incredible job. He happens to be in this room. Did an amazing job getting it, all the paperwork tied up, and then also went way over expected on list and sale price. So I need real estate.
Bless you. Thank you.
Your question? Okay, so we'll run through. Okay.
Your website is real nice. Do you guys get any leads, PPC, are you doing any marketing with that?
We did, that was what, we created the website to do consumer direct. We did like a 30 grand experiment or 40 grand experiment on consumer direct, got a couple deals, hated the process of chasing consumers around, so we're just not interested in continuing to expand that out. So then we built the same thing, we're like, okay, we like the agents better, so now we're agent direct, and off we go.
Question. How do you go about setting up appointments with these agents and just cold calling and say, hey, I want to meet with you someday?
Who's an agent in this room? Raise your hand. Is there anyone here who, if I called and said, I have tons of money and want to buy a house, will you meet with me to talk about what I'm trying to buy? And raise your hand if you wouldn't take that meeting. It's easy. Then just take the meeting.
You want to borrow your proof of funds?
I've had people ask me that. I have to borrow my proof of funds from investors.
From investors?
Well, we bought 5.2 in San Francisco. They're like, we want proof of funds. I'm like, it's interesting.
That extra zero, yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta cut that out. Okay, let's run through that deal actually. So that's a recent product that you bought, and you bought 5.2, right? That's pretty high, 5.2.
Big number.
You got that deal from a real estate agent, off market.
Yep.
And what's the plan with that? Explain to us what's the goal with that one.
Okay, so after we just showed you getting beat up doing a foundation, we're doing another foundation. We're obsessed with paint. Yeah. So it's San Francisco. It's a 3-unit building. They're each 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet units. Good part of the city. Probably give or take $1,000 a foot type of area on out. What we're doing is we're digging out the foundation, and then we're adding another 2,000 foot units. So we'll have 4 2,000 foot units, each worth about $2 million. So it'll be worth $8 million when it's done.
$8 million.
So we're into it 5.2. We're adding 1.7. So we're into it. Call it 7 million, just to round up the numbers. So 7 million on 8 million is actually a terrible deal. Right? We would never do that. Maybe you break even or make 300 grand. Like, definitely not worth it for the rest. The key with this is it's a double lot. So we did a long escrow on it, I think 45 or 60 days. And we had our architect literally like go down to the city, double check the historical records to make sure that we could separate this lot. So the lot next to it can be split and entitled to build 12,000 square feet of condos. So those condos, new construction condos in San Francisco are give or take 1,200 a foot. I mean, you can't exactly do it that way. You have to build them the right size for the area. But so you're probably, let's say that's worth 15 million on the out. So you do ground up construction. If you had a fully entitled lot that was worth 15 million on the way out, what would you pay for it?
5, 6.
Yeah, so let's say we want to make a deal.
How many square feet are we building out there?
12,000.
12,000?
So I don't think I'm ready to do that build. Like a $5 million. Oh, I don't. Would you want?
I'm ready.
That's why she does operations. So
I'm ready to do that.
Okay, so that's a conversation. So
That's a conversation. You see, that's how partnerships are built.
I love it. So to close the loop, and we'll get the question. So on that one, we'll lot split. While we're rehabbing this one, we'll sell this one as basically a break even or make a couple bucks. And then we've got this. He said he would pay $5 million for it. That's our profit. So we could go partner with someone like that and say, okay, well, it's worth $5 million, we get $5 million, and we'll split the profit beyond that, or we figure out whatever it is that we figure out. That would be how that deal goes. But it starts to get tempting. What could you build 12,000 feet in San Francisco for? Give or take.
$270 a foot.
So call
That's
it-
condos, right?
Yeah, call it 4 million.
I
So,
just calculated 3.7, but that's, yeah.
4 million, yeah.
4 million.
So you're all in at 9. You're all in at 9, and you have 6 units out there. Right? You have 6 units out of 12.
Right.
It's pretty good math.
Yeah. Right, though that's where it starts to get interesting. So because now you're going into your project, your markets break, there's conversations around what do we do with that. Do we just give him the land for 5 million, we move on? He buys it for 5, puts 4 in, and he's got 15 million, he's looking good, so 9 on 15. Or do we try and build it for, we have it paid for, we try and build it for 4, and now it's worth 15 and go for the, the home run type of deal. I don't know, we'll figure that out later. Yeah.
That's a really good deal. So $5 million property just on land, and it takes how long to get approved for that condo unit in San Francisco?
5 months.
45 minutes.
Our architect is really, he's optimistic, so he said 4 to 5, I was thinking a year, so we'll see where it lands.
So sometime this year it'll be approved.
We'll hope so.
Yeah.
Really good at pushing it.
Nice.
It's funny you're running into him, we've met these other artists before, but actually it hit me when he was talking about what he does earlier. I was like, I'm gonna email him Monday and we're gonna, or tomorrow or whatever, we'll set up a meeting and talk about partnerships. So that's the value of these types of meetings.
Yeah. Do you keep on condo for fun?
I'll take the money and run.
That's a really good product. So, how did you fund that? I don't think we got into that, right? How did you fund that $5.2 million?
Because at a point we're at 25 million in projects, we're looking for highest leverage possible. But remember, we buy super deep, we only buy the good stuff, so we can take a little more risk in terms of leverage. So I'll take let's say like an Ironbridge, for example, that'll give you 90 of acquisition.
Yeah.
And then, let's take a simple one. Buy it for $1 million, put 100 grand in, right? So you'd be into it 1.1 million. We'd take an Ironbridge for 900 grand.
Yeah.
The money into it would be about 200 plus interest carry, so say 250.
Right.
We would take a equity investor for 250.
Equity investor.
So we would pay them interest on their money plus a split of equity, depending on the deal. And then we take private money first. So we take high leverage and high interest leverage. Now, to build the condos though, if we're gonna do a $4 million construction job in 18 months or whatever that turns out to be, we would take a bank note for that, because it's too long. We're in,
right?
Yeah, actual construction. If it's like 6-month flip or whatever, we'll just pay the interest cost and move forward.
Yeah, so in this case, you only down 10%? Were you able to get 10%?
This one, we got a note of 5.7.
5.7, that's more than
purchase price. Well, I have a track record, right?
Yeah.
So, we got 5.7 and then I raised 2.5.
So 5.7.
So it carries
you
under
raised
construction.
2.5.
Yeah.
Oh, so they didn't fund the rehab.
I got 5.7 in first. I got a 2.5 construction behind it.
Really?
1.7, yeah.
Then how much did you down? Nothing.
Not
At all.
I did have, what was the money in escrow to tie it up? Yeah, so I had to put money in to tie it up and some other different things, but in the end, nothing.
Which lender is that? That is.
There's Genesis is one of the ones in Southern California that'll do it. I know that's too big for Ironbridge, but they'll sometimes entertain doing some of the construction also.
Yeah, so Genesis does development types of 100%.
Well, but they're looking at ARV and what's the lot worth.
Potential.
Right.
I see. So they consider the resale. Right. Did you have to cross collateral or anything, or was nothing? Wow. No money up, 150,000, that's not bad.
Oh, I got that back once. I did it all, so.
Man,
real nothing.
Very nice. Foundational.
Yeah.
Did you say this was a historical property?
It's not. That's what we vetted when we went to make sure that we could build.
Have you done a historical property before?
Yeah, Catherine's.
Yeah,
Oh, they're kicking us out.
So you said you're good at grading.
No idea.
Yeah.
It's time.
Lenders, our money?
No, like.
I felt guilty for saying
Private. So private money.
Yeah,
Gas funding.
private money is like, you can get a dime a dozen, I had an open line on that, it's the down payment money, yeah, it is.
Okay.
I do have cash too, I mean, I can fill deals if I want, but it's like, I want to scale, so I keep my cash, I'm very sacred.
So you line of credits or whatever?
Yeah.
You already bought it, so you're not taking any more investors, huh?
And that one's,
Oh, man, just tell me.
yeah.
You guys take Bitcoins too, or just cash?
No Bitcoins for me. 60% real estate, 30% cash, 10% gold.
Okay, awesome.
No Bitcoin.
1% nightclubs.
Yeah.
Nightclub. I gotta check out this nightclub. Where's the nightclub at? Is this in Reno? Scottsdale. Okay, we're gonna have the next meetup in Scottsdale at his nightclub. So we're approaching 9 o'clock. We'll try to wrap up with just a few more questions. I'm gonna ask you more, but we're running out of time. So let's go ahead and wrap up with more questions. If anyone has questions they want to ask, last chance.
Talking about private money, can you talk about how you've gone about raising capital?
Okay, so the private money stuff is just LTV based. They're like, most of it, like an Ironbridge will go 90% of acquisition, or like Genesis will go 80 of construction, 80 of acquisition. So there's no, you gotta have decent financials and you can't be a knucklehead, but they'll pretty much lend you the money if the project makes sense to them. The second money, we've raised anywhere from someone putting up the down payment money for just 12% interest, to as far as someone putting up the down payment money for 12% interest plus 35% equity, which I know for a lot of people who raise money in here, that's on the higher side. At the time though, the first time we went to 35% equity, it was a $5 million apartment building that needed 500 grand of work. So we were raising 1.5 million. I think my biggest raise up to that point was like 300 grand. So it was like, it was just over my britches. And when they were like, well, I'll do it, but I want 35%, I was like, sure, why not? We made 700 grand on the deal. So I was like, okay, whatever, life goes on. Right?
In terms of establishing the relationships though with the private money, how have you gone about doing that?
I would, if you're not experienced, I would probably partner with somebody who's experienced, so that when you sit with somebody and say, put your money in this deal, every time before someone goes to put money into my fund, or if they're even interested, and I don't have a fund, I only take money per deal, I show them my deal sheet. And say, these are the deals, Google them, Zillow them, see what our finished work looks like, see that every number on here is correct. This is who we are and what we've done, and you gotta make your decision on that. So I would partner with somebody who you can do that.
So do you mind if we add our name on that?
Yeah.
For 10% of the profit, actually.
Okay, why not? Another question was the Airbnb. I wanted to get back to that. So the Airbnb business is very interesting, very high cash flow. So I want to talk just briefly about that, and then we'll wrap up.
Cool. You wanna hit that one?
Sure, yeah. Let's see, was it 2 years ago? We invested in houses in Nashville. And Nashville is obviously great for like bachelorette parties or just big parties going in general, and there's a huge hotel shortage. This is what David found out, and then we started buying new construction homes, on market, and then I went over and furnished them, and then we had a property manager at the time, and yeah, just sleeps over 12 people, started getting a bunch of rent nightly, right, make sure you set up the right rate, market it right, and then, I think right now it's averaging anywhere from like 20 to 25% ROIs, what do you think?
Yeah, okay, so there's a lot to this business. If you're thinking it's easy, it's not. The managers who manage it usually stink. There's a lot of...
We've been through 3 different managers, and now I manage it.
Yeah, I mean, she does a killer job. Like, that's the way it's staged, it's where you locate it, it's how you research it. There's a lot to it. But that being said, if you get it right, so right now in the Airbnb portfolio, we have 4.6 million in properties in it, and our rents booked over the last 30 days was 80 grand.
80 grand.
80 grand in 30 days. So what $4 million building can you buy, or $3.6 million building can you buy that you get 80 grand in rent?
Yeah, net or?
It was gross.
Gross.
So we carve out a management fee to her, we do all this, but even after all that crap, you're maybe 60 on 3.6, it's still ridiculous numbers.
Wow.
So it's super lucrative, but the other piece about it is it's also really nice now when the economy's rolling, but it's when the recession hits, which is probably gonna come sooner rather than later, do you have a smart hold position on the way out, and how's your infrastructure set up? So I think it's a great, so for me, it's a great cash flow place to spit off some of my cash to hold property, but I also like long-term rents with stable renters. I think mixing up the portfolio is smart. So I think there's a lot of ways to do it. But it's for sure, with the way the technology's going, it's an opportunity to get really high rents for first purchase prices.
Is it too late where you bought them all the good deals, or?
No, you can, literally, there's no, like, you can buy them on market, there's no
Yeah.
secret to getting them, it's.
Yeah, you buy for like 250, 300?
And get, say, I think on 250, 300, you should
Yeah.
get 100K in revenue.
100K, 10,000 a
Yeah.
month? 10,000 a month?
Those
I'm
are-
like $300,000.
On 300,000?
Okay, let's say 350 on 100.
350, you make 100 grand a year.
Right.
Wow, it's better than getting a job. Just work there.
Write a 350 grand check and go home.
Nice. So you're ready for more? Manage more? So in case anyone wants to
I'm
buy
really
one?
picky on the ones that I manage because I'm clearly really busy with flips.
Yeah.
But I would manage anything that sleeps over 12, and I have to furnish it myself, or I
Yeah.
have to have pretty good furnishing. And I take spectacular photos and market it right, make sure it has like that one niche thing that that area is looking for. So like one in San Diego, you know,
Yeah.
right by the beach, or does it have a rooftop, or depending on the area, like is it
Mhm.
Tahoe, does it have mountain views, or
You wanna
I'm
do
really good at picking that out.
partnerships. Yeah, you want to do more partnerships instead of
Absolutely,
just management?
if it's the right area, the
Yeah.
right and only if I get equity.
Yeah.
I usually invest in houses.
5%, right?
Huh?
5% equity? Okay, we'll negotiate. Well, that's also another opportunity. If you don't want to flip, if you want to do something more stable, you can partner up with Leslie on Airbnb and get $100,000 a year. So I hope you learn a lot. Thank you for coming and sharing everything. Sharing how you're very inspiring. I'm doing one deal a year now, make $5 million. That's all I want to do.
I want to do 10 just like that. She said no.
No? Okay, thank you all. And feel free to mingle, network, and take a picture.